for all you oh, what?
Mom.
Well, can read that. Okay. So as you may have heard that Disney Corporation is responsible for at least one real life ghost town. Disney built the Treasure Island resort in Baker's Bay in Bahamas. This starts a ghost town. Disney cruise ships actually stop at the resorts and leave tourists there to relax and luxury. This is a fact. Look it up. Disney blew $30 million on the place. Yes, $30 million. Then they abandoned it. Disney blamed shallow waters. But then Disney blamed shallow, like they, and there was even a blame cast on the workers saying that since they were from the bottom, they were too lazy to work on a regular scale. That was the factual end of the story. But it obviously wasn't because foreigners are released both are visual. No, I seriously doubt those reasons for legitimate. Why don't I buy the official story? Because of Mogil's Palace. Near the rich side of the city of Emeralds, Isle, North Carolina, Disney began construction of Mogil's Palace in the late 1990s. The concept was a jungle theme result with a large, you guessed it, palace in the center of the whole thing. If you aren't familiar with the character of Mogil, then you might remember the story, The Jungle Book. If you haven't seen it anywhere else, you know it as Disney cartoon from decades past. Mogil is an abandoned child in the jungle, aesthetically raised by animals and submissively turned in pursued by other animals. Mogil Palace was a comfortable undertaking from start. Disney brought a ton of high-priced land for the project. There was activated scandal surrounding some of the purchase. The local government claimed eminent domain on people's houses and then turn around and sold the property to this. At one point, the home had just been media cut them with little to no explanation. Grabbed by the government exposed when the war was going on. People started calling it the Mouse Highway. There was the concept art, a group of stuffed shirts from Disney company held at Fit City.
Shannon, come here.
They tend to sell everyone on how luxury this project was going to be for everyone. When they showed concept art, this guy ended an Indian place surrounded by jungle. Struck a man and woman that looked class and trouble, but so to say everyone flipped there.
They do watch First Night Night, and I'm not going.
But when we're talking about a large Indian palace, jungle sun will cost not only in the center of the West area, but somewhat excellent area of southern USA. There was a question mixed at the point in history. One member of the crowd tried to storm the city, but was quickly subdued by security after he branded to break one of the presentation boards over his knee. Disney took that community, especially local to me as well. The house was raised.
I know. Hang on.
It wasn't such a thing. So anyone could say it through the TV newspaper against the rest at the beginning. But some saying connected Disney media holdings came into play in their opinion to
It starts over.
So anyway, Treasure Island, the Bahamas, Disney sunk those millions and then split. The same thing happened with Mogil's Palace. Construction was complete. Visitor used to stay at our surrounding communities. Full of traffic of usual annoyance associated with influx of lost and irate tourists. Now it stopped. Disney shut it down. Everybody knew what the heck to think, but they were pretty happy about it. Disney loss was pretty hilarious and wonderful to a large group of folks who didn't want this in the first place. I just did give the place another thought. Since hearing it close over a decade ago, I only heard the rumblings and didn't experience any of it firsthand. So I read this article to explore the Treasure Island resort. It a whole blog about this crap he found there. Stuff just left behind. Things smashed, the face probably ruined by the scuff. Former voice had lost her
I know, that part.
Locals from all around had a hand to wreck in the place. But there felt just as angry about Treasure Island as folks here did about Mogil's Palace. But there were rumors that Disney has registered acquiring stock into local wires. One day closed, including sharks. Who would want to take a few things as some mere days after that? Well, I've been getting at this blog turns around and it got me thinking. Even though many years have passed since its closing, I think I might figure out to do some urban exploration at Locust Palace Stakes before there's a rainbow experience. Let's see if there's anything I could take home as a memento. I'm gonna say I wish no time in there. Getting there honestly took me another year after I first found to on an article to get around to going up. I still, over the course of the year, I did a lot of research or whether I tried to. Naturally, no official Disney site or source made any mention that that's been scrubbed clean. Even older, honestly. However, was that nobody before myself had really thought to blog about the place and even post a photo. None of the local TV or newspaper sites has worried about the place, though that was to be expected since they all swung Disney way. They would be highlighting their embarrassment, you know? Recently, I learned that corporations could actually ask Google, for example, to remove links from search results, at least for no good reason. Looking back, it's probably not that nobody spoke of the result, but rather than the words were accessible. So in the end, I could barely find the place. All I had to do was an old hell map I received in the mail back in the 90s. It was promotional items sent out to people who had been recently to Disney for and I guess since I have been in the late 80s, that was recent. I didn't tend to really hang on to it. I just got shoved in my books and comics from my childhood. I only remember it months into my research. Even then, it took me another few weeks to locate the store bin Princess shipped it all into. But I did. Locals were no help as more transplants have been moved to the beach in recent years. All residents who sneered me and registered. Second, I mean, where I find locals. They ever took me through an auxiliary tropical plants that run at rapid overpopulated area mixed with the native species of Florida that actually belonged there and had tried to reclaim the land. That was all. When I reached the front gates of the resort, tremendous lounging rolling gates, which more either side looked there must have cut away from giant spike was. The gate itself had been noted to replace by woodpeckers and eaten away at the base by the burrow insects hanging on the gate was a sheer mental. Some of this window scrap was a hand-painted letters scrawled in black. Abandoned by Disney. Created a handwork of some past local or an employee who wanted to make some small protest. He gave her an open enough to walk through, but not drive. So grab my journal camera on the map, flip side, and flash out a foot. Our grounds were placed for just organizing. Laundry attendant ragged positive coconut. Banana tree plants simply stood in their own stinking blood riddle refused. It was sort of a class. Before the chaos, as carefully planted rows of permanent flowers mixed with novice chill, weeds, stinking blackened mushrooms, all that remained of the outdoor structure were broken, rotted wood, and bits of identical material. Was more likely a booth or an outdoor ball was now simply a pile of assorted debris chopped up by past vandalism or ravaged by weather. The most interesting thing on the ground was the statue of Bubba, the friendly bear from Jungle Book, which stood at the sword of the courtyard in front of the Benny building. He was frozen and thrown away or no one, drained into an empty space with a smile. To ground his bird crab, covered hills of spur vines in his platform. I approached the main building, the palace, only to find the insides of the door broken, covered in draft, where the original paint had peeled and chipped away. The front doors were just open. It had been taken off their rings or stolen. Both the doors had been modded. Someone had once again painted abandoned by Disney. I wish I could tell you about all the awesome stuff I saw in this house. Forgotten statues, abandoned cashiers, full-fledged secret society of homeless bums, but no. Inside of the building was so stark, so bare, I can ask this thing people had stolen the molding off the walls. Anything that was too big, steel counters, desks, trying to fake freeze. They were all resting amid this echo chamber, and amplified my every step like a slow rat. of a machine gun. I checked the floor plan and headed all the locals.
I'm scared. Oh, sorry.
Location that might seem in any way interesting. The kitchen was, as you imagine, an illustrated food repair area with appliances in space. No expenses spared. Even glass surface was broken. Every door knocked off its edges. Every metal surface kicked and dented. The entire place smelled like very old piss. The whole freezer, not even remotely cool now, had a row upon row of each shelf empty.
Like the way she slings her hair around.
Hooks hung from the ceiling, probably for hanging cuts of meat. I stood aside for a moment. I noticed they were swinging. Each hook swung in a random direction, but their movements were so slow and small that it was almost impossible to see. I forgot it had been caused by my footsteps, but I stopped one from swinging by, clutching my fist first. Then I carefully letting it go, but within seconds it started to swing once more. The bathrooms were in such much same state as the rest of the place, just like Treasure Island Resort. Someone had meticulously smashed each protein, covered with coconuts and varying claimants. There was about half an inch of wreckage, sinking stagnant water on the floor, so I did stay there very long. Well, all the toilets and the sinks and a bed is in the ladies' room. Yes, I went there. All dripped, leaked, or just ran freely. It seemed to me that they should have shut the water off long ago. There were plenty of rooms in the resort, but I'm sure I didn't have time to look through them all. The few I did peer into were simply wrecked, and I did spend to find anything there. I don't know, there was actually a television and radio in one room, and as I really think I heard a quiet conversation coming out. There was a whisper, probably my own breathing echo in silence, or just another case. Sound of flowing water playing tricks on my ear. It sounded like, I don't believe. Short of known plot. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Your father told you. Wait. I know. That sounds ridiculous. I'm telling you what I experienced. But I thought there might have been something running in that room, or worse, some beggars who had holed up there probably would knife me at the front doors of the palace. I forget. I had to find a note and wasted the trip up. And I looked up the door. I have something interesting in the courtyard. I have really missed something that would give at least one thing to show all my trouble. Even if it was just a photograph. There was a like statue of a python, maybe 80 feet long, curled up, stunning itself on a pedestal right in the center of it there. It was almost time for the sun to start setting. So the light fell onto the object, sorry, in the perfect way for a photograph. I approached the python, snapped the photo, then I stood on my toes and stopped another. I moved close again to get the detail of my face. Slowly, cast the python looked at its head, looked directly into my eyes, turned the sliver off the pedestal, across the grass and into the trees. All 80 feet of it. Its head long gone into the woods before its tail even left the spawning spot. Disney had released all their exotic animals onto the grounds. Right there on my phone came out was our I should have known. I read about the sharks at Treasure Island. I shouldn't have known they'd done this. I was dumbfounded, just utterly stupefied. My house had been hanging open for the longest time before I came back to Earth, snapped it shut. I blinked a few times, backed away from the snake, had been back toward the palace. Even though I was fully gone, I still shaked. I still wasn't taking any chances back my way into the building. I took a few deep breaths and slopped them to my face to get myself right in the head. Right after that, I looked for a place to sit down as my legs were feeling a bit like jelly at this point. Of course, it was no place to sit down unless I wanted to recline in a broken glass. It was before I hauled myself into the destined course. My question really far. I see some stairs near the house on the inside. I had a seat there until I felt better. The staircase was far enough from the head, save for a startling oscillation of dust. I pulled a wedge of metal off the wall. Once again painted with "Banded by Disney" motto, I became accused to. I placed the wedge on the stairs and sat on it. To at least somewhat clean. The staircase slopes downstairs below the ground level. Used my camera as sort of flashlight. I could see the staircase ended in the middle of a sign on a real sign. Read mascots only, thank you. They perked up my spirit a little bit. For two reasons. Only a mascot only area, but I definitely had some innocent stuff back in the day. Two, the padlock was still in place. Somebody had gone down there, not the vandals, not the looters, nobody. That was the one place I could actually explore and probably find something interesting to photograph for one of these steal. I had come to the palace agreeing with myself that it was okay to take anything I wanted because, hey, a bandit. It didn't take much to bust the lock. Well, it's actually that wrong. It didn't take much to burst the metal plate on the wall that the palace hooked up. Due time and decay have done most of the work for me, and I was able to bend the metal plate around the wall. Something nobody else had apparently thought of or had been able to do at the time. Mascot only was a startlingly very welcome change for the rest of the witnessing. Every second or third flight overhead was limited, even though they flickered and faded randomly. Also, nothing had been stolen or broken. Even age and spills were definitely taking their toll. Tables had notepads and pens. There were clocks, even the punch clock on the wall with a filled out time card. Chairs were scattered, and there was a small break room with an old static film television along brought in and out food and drink on the counters. It was like one of those post-apocalypse movies where everything is left in a state of evacuation. As I walked through the maze, subway basement hallways of the mascot only area, the sight just became more and more interesting as I went further. Desks and tables were active, papers scattered almost within the floor. And the large carpet mold was slowly overtaking a real rotting crimson floor covering. Everything was just sort of squishy. Any wood discarded too much when I applied over. In less of force and closing leggings hanging on the hooks. In one of the rooms, simply felt two moist threads if I tried to unhook them. One thing that annoyed me was that the light was becoming more irritable as I went into the dank, suffocating in the depths of the place. Eventually I reached a black and yellow striped door. That's it. With the words, characters prepped 1. Essentially on it. The doorway opened. As I figured this was probably where the costumes were kept. I definitely wanted a photograph on the twisted, sticky mess. Try as I meant, wherever angle I tried, the door wouldn't budge. That is. Until I gave up and I started to walk away. There was a slight popping sound and the door cracked open slowly. Inside the door was completely dark, pitch dark. I used the camera glass to look for a light switch, but there was nothing. As I made my research, I jarred out to this sense of excitement by a loud electro buzz. Rows of lights overhead suddenly flashed to life, flickered, fading in and out like the rest I had passed. Seconds turned eyes to dust, and it seemed like the light was going to get brighter. Still, all the bulbs exploded. But that's when I thought it would be reach that critical state. The light dimmed a bit and steady. The room looked exactly as I pictured it. Various Disney costumes hung on the walls, fully put together like strange cartoon birds hung from the visible noses. There was an entire rack of loyal claws and native clothes hung on toward the back. What I found out when I wanted a photograph right away was a Mickey Mouse costume at the center of the room. I liked the other costume who was laying on its back in the center on the floor, like a murder victim. For it was on the costume was rotting and shredding, creating bare patches. What was even odder, however, was the coloring of the costume. It was like a photo negative of actual Mickey Mouse black, where he should be white, and white where he should be black. He normally wearing overalls were light blue. The sides was all putting enough work that I actively put off photographing the thing until last. I took a picture of the costume hanging on walls, upward angles, downward angles, side shots to show the entire row of frozen picture cartoon faces with black eyes. This thing. Then I decided to stay a shot. Just wanted to brag at the characters on the slimy grim. Go forward. I reached out for the headpiece of Donald Duck, carefully removed it so the thing would fall apart in my hand. As I looked into the face with a wide-eyed, muttering head, a loud clattering sound made me jump. Afraid. I looked down at my feet. Between my shoulders, and there between my shoulders was a human skull that had fallen out of the mascot's head, shattered into pieces on my feet. Only the empty face and the large jaw were caught, staring up at me. I dropped the duck head immediately as you moved for the toilet. As I stood in the doorway, I looked back to the skull. On foot. I had to take a picture, I had to. for any reason amazing Susie, but only if you don't think it through. I need proof of what happened, especially if Disney want to somehow make this go away. I know down is fine right from the start. I even if this growth in the times Disney responsible, then what when Disney that floated negative opposite Mickey in the middle of the floor started to get up, first sitting up, then climbing to his feet. The Mickey Mouse costume or whatever was inside stood there at the center of the room, its fake face staring directly at me as I mumbled, "No," over and over, with shaking hands and violent threats, heart and legs that had once again turned to jelly. I managed to lift the camera and aim it at the opposite creature, now quietly seizing me. The digital camera screen displayed only thick, dead pixels in the shape of this thing. It was perfect, so how a Mickey costume. The camera moved and instantly hand the dead pixel spread, making the screen, wherever Mickey's outline moved to. Then the camera died. And blank, quiet and broken. I raised my eyes when I get to Mickey Mouse. "Hey," I said, "how should I preferably Mickey Mouse boy? Want to see my head come off?" It started to pull its own head, looking at its complete cloud fingers its neck with clawing, patient movement similar to a woman man trying to pull himself from a predator. So as it worked, it did into its neck. So much blood, so much thick, chunky yellow blood. And I turned away as I heard tearing of cloth and flesh. I only cared about getting away above the doorway of the room. I saw the final message card clawed into the middle of was blown or figures. Abandoned by God. I never got some pictures of the camera. I never wrote a blog entry about it after I read from my palace. But for my city about my life. I knew why Disney didn't want anyone to know about this place. They didn't want anyone like me getting in. They didn't want anything like that getting out. Oh, that's it.